to episode 96 of Chew on This, a Nerds United podcast. I'm BJ.
Vic.
Before we begin, folks, I just want to remind you all out there to go to patreon.com/Chew on This podcast to sponsor our asses because we have no money. And we would love to get some money because we would utilize it to do something cool, which we're about to do this weekend, September 2nd. We are going to the San Francisco Comic-Con. And we're going to be performing our podcast live in front of an audience from 10 to 11. I think it's room 2011 at the Moscone Center. And
10 to 11 is probably how much. 10 to 11 might be the attendance as well.
Yeah, because we're like, yeah, we'd love to have 2 or 3 p.m. They're like, yeah, we can do that. And then I said, yeah, and just make sure you put 18 or older or whatever, and they're like, "Ooh, you got to go at 10 o'clock." Yeah. So anyway, we're not gonna change the way we do things. So we're going from 10 to 11 at San Francisco Comic-Con, room 2011 at the Moscone Center, San Francisco.
Which is why you should sponsor us, because not just to give us money, but because you like what we do, and these are the type of things that we are able to do with the sponsors that we actually do have.
Yeah, we're not using it for munchies or alcohol or anything like that. I mean, that'd be a great thing, but no,
we're talking ages from now if we get $50,000 of
Nerdist money, like Nerdist Kevin money, Smith money.
And then of course we got Wawa. We've been doing this for months. West Coast Wawa, again, go out and get their coffee because you can actually order it on the West Coast. It's this place that I can't even describe. It's like a 7-Eleven, but better. It's like the difference between Walmart and like a Target that has a Starbucks in it. It's like that kind of a difference.
Yeah.
It's open 24 hours, cheap gas, but the sandwiches. I'm actually going back to New Jersey in a few weeks, so I can't wait to munch down on some Wawa when I'm out there.
Nice.
But on the West Coast, anywhere in, I guess, the nation, you can actually order the Wawa coffee, and it's really good. Trust me.
Yeah. So basically, just if everyone out there would just order a shitload of coffee, they might be like, "Oh man."
Oh, and then a comment section. Like if there's a
there.
comment section, yeah. If there's a comment section, give a shout out to us because we're the ones who told you about it.
There you go. Hashtag there you West Coast Wawa.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is
yeah.
We just finished the season finale of Game of Thrones, but before we get into that, we're on this thing this season. I don't know if you noticed, or this whole entire year, that we kind of don't talk too much about TV anymore because we wanted to do our own stupid shit. Mm-hmm. So all of those dumb ideas that you've been listening to out there, like the dumb podcast. That's us saying, like, let's not do individual episodes unless it's like ridiculous, like JR got shot type thing.
Right.
So,
and this is a biggie. This was a biggie, so we had to do
Well, there was a lot of biggies this season, but we still we still stayed true to what we said we were going to do. And so we're going to we're going to give you the cliff notes of season 7 and obviously what just happened tonight, the season 7 finale. So right from the very beginning of the season premiere, Arya is a badass. Like right away, it opens up with, when the fuck are they gonna like have some fucking revenge? Because the Starks get shit on so fucking much. It's like who's the guy who played Cyclops?
James Marsden.
James Marsden, yeah. Like, he got shit on so much in comic book movies. He got shit on by Wolverine, and then Jean Grey fucking kills him. And then he goes, Superman Returns, he's a great guy, but, like, he's fucking competing with Superman. Like, he just gets shit on. And the Starks are like that, only their family members get, murdered.
Starks are kind of like, they're the Ralph Macchio of Game, they get shit on.
Only they don't meet. Yeah, only they don't meet Mr. Miyagi at the right time. Like, if Ralph Macchio was like a Stark, they would have killed him in that alley, in those bushes or whatever, that dirt, the fence, right by the fence.
Yeah.
Johnny would have connected and like kicked his head off his shoulders.
That'd have been game over.
Yeah, that's if J.R.R. Martin. That's if R.R. Martin was writing Karate Kid. Ralph Macchio, Danielson would have died in the middle of it.
Yeah, they finally get get some sort of revenge for all that shit that happened. And Arya,
Yeah, God.
right off the bat, she's just a total badass. I mean, at the end of last season, did she like slit the guy's throat, and then like at the beginning of this season was the guy, and like
Yeah.
it poisoned the whole entire family. Just ended their line right there. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing how much when you hate like an imaginary character, you don't give a shit how far. That like when Joffrey died, I was like, that's not good enough. Like
Yeah.
him being poisoned, it's not good
Yeah,
enough.
it wasn't
That
good
little
enough.
fucker, that little prick, that's not good enough. And then like I mean, Arya just basically committed like genocide to that entire family, and to me, it wasn't good enough. It was because that was like I don't know if you know too much about the books. Like I haven't read the books, but I've been reading. I read up a lot more. Like I basically wikied a lot of stuff. And what what was that guy's name again? He's a dick in Harry Potter. What's his name in the show?
I don't remember. I always call him Filch. So that's what I always.
The names of Game of Thrones is the one thing I can't stand. I only know like 10 names, and everything else just throw it out the window.
Right,
But
pretty much.
Filch basically in Game of Thrones, like he broke like a sacred like bond and like oath, where if you invite somebody, even if you invite your enemy to your house, you can't touch that person.
Right.
It's like it's an unwritten rule, and basically he broke that rule. And basically, if you I forget the fairy tale or whatever the story that they were telling. They kind of tell it in the middle of the season, but it's obviously longer in the book. But basically, what happens is if you break that oath, you're fucked.
Right.
And that's
Oh,
exactly what happened.
It came back to him, man. It came back big time.
Yeah, tenfold.
This was also the episode, I believe, that Daenerys finally goes back to her homeland, and
Yes.
she's goes back to Dragonstone, where they have
6
that.
goddamn seasons it takes her to get there.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. It didn't take that long to get to Mount Doom, but
Well, there's a lot of like the fact that I said it took 6 seasons to get there. I do have some kind of gripe with season 7, and you can notice in season 7 that the fact that we're not playing with the books anymore. We have the outline from Martin, or the writers have the outline from Martin, but there's no like 5,000 pages for them to skim through, and like it doesn't take them 6 years to walk down the block.
right.
Or in reverse, it doesn't take them 6
Well,
years.
you can
to
sense.
travel.
You could also sense this season, like this sense of urgency, and so they just fly. I mean, they get to everywhere so quickly.
Yeah.
Which is it's really a contrast from the other.
They got
seasons.
flu powder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard it called jetpacking. I've heard it called all sorts of different things.
Or dragons.
Dragon packing. Yeah, what was the? I think it was the episode 2 where you saw Euron Greyjoy, kind of becoming the new baddie. They didn't really do that much with him. He just kind of like popped up out of nowhere, and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to destroy. Or he wants to be with Cersei. I think he wants to hook up with her and kind of run the Seven Kingdoms and all that stuff.
Euron or something like that.
Euron, yeah, Euron Greyjoy.
Yeah. And the only reason I remembered his name is because it was said last night or tonight. That's the only reason why I know.
Yeah, and all those the women, I can't remember any of their names, but they're like the assassin women.
Yeah, they never finished out their storyline.
No, they kind. Well, I mean, you just assume that they died under Cersei in Cersei's dungeon.
There's a ton of fat cut out of this season.
Yes.
Because there's no book, so I'm sure the book will, whenever the hell he decides to finish it. There's no fat this season at all. There's no long monologues, no long like walks through the park or whatever the hell they were doing that took them forever to travel.
Right.
But there's a fine line between not taking forever to travel and traveling like traveling like you are on flu powder. Like there's that one in episode 6, I think it was, where they sent a raven to go get Daenerys, and how the fuck did the raven travel that far that quickly? And then like the dragon travels that far like that quickly back.
Yeah, and also they sent. So let's talk about that episode, because that episode was awesome, but so ridiculous at the same time. So so they decide they decide. I don't remember. I have to go back and watch it. I don't remember who decides, but they decide that the best course of action to get Cersei on their side, or to have a truce,
Truce.
a truce, is to go and get a White Walker and bring him back to Cersei and show her, so that she'll be like, oh shit, I'm on board now. And so, first of all, like, just hearing the plan, like, at first I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch the next episode. That's badass. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, how fucking stupid can you be? Like, this is the dumbest idea ever. Like, you guys, you're going to show up there and there's going to be like hundreds of thousands of these things. And you're
It
just going to,
basically only goes, what, 12?
yeah, I'm like, you're going to grab this, one of the undead and then run away. Like, how are you going to do this? And so the other part of me was like, well, why don't they just, like, okay, Dany doesn't believe. She adamantly is like, I do not believe in these stupid, the dead, whatever. So why doesn't Jon just go, hey man, I'll tell you what, you and I and maybe one of your trusty guys, let's jump on the back of a dragon and let's fly over the wall and let's take a gander and I'll show you. And if you believe me, then we'll go to the next step.
Because it has HBO has shown it'll only take you 30 seconds to fly past the wall.
Right, exactly.
So you're not. It'll take you longer to walk down to take a shit.
So so this brilliant plan, like, they basically get, they go over there, they go past the wall, and then they finally, like, they come across some White Walkers. They kill them and they grab one. Well, first of all, they killed the main Walker guy, because there's several of them, I guess.
Yeah.
They kill him like you would a vampire, and then, like,
Well,
all the
even
other
before that,
all the other undead die.
Even before that, every time, other than that one that Samuel killed, his name's Samuel, right?
Yeah, the fat dude.
He killed one White Walker that kind of just out of nowhere just showed up.
Yeah.
But every time you see the White Walkers, they're in groups of thousands, and the Dirty Dozen just happened to come upon like 6. So so the odds are already against them, and if anything, Martin in his novels and in the show has shown us that if it sounds like a shitty plan in like real life, shitty bad things are going to happen to you.
Yes.
And this season, that has not happened. That it hasn't happened.
No.
Like I thought that's where Mormont would die, or the dude with the red hair.
Right. Right.
Like they saved him. There's been, I mean, yeah, in the first 2 episodes where the assassin women, you were telling me, or you were just saying that, they were basically taken care of, but they didn't really have much of a story anyway.
Yeah.
So it kind of made sense to just kill them off, because the Tyrells were going to be killed anyway. So I'll go, by the way, spoilers 10 minutes in. The Tyrells were going to be murdered anyway, so it didn't matter. Their alliances didn't really matter to the story that is really now converging all on Jon and Daenerys. So bad things have not really happened. Like they even kept Theon's sister alive for him to go redeem himself.
Yep.
Where if you think about the Starks alone, it's taken them 6 fucking seasons to redeem themselves. Or seek revenge. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm worried about. Is there's only 6 episodes left, and I'm thinking, God, there's so many like loose ends they gotta tie, and they've just we just watched the season finale, and so they've opened up new things that you're like, oh shit, how are they gonna have time to wrap this up?
Yeah, because now winter has again the longest fall ever. Apparently,
winter's coming. Winter's coming.
In this country, this country or this world, winter takes 3 years to get there
at least.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years it takes them to get. That's the longest fall or spring or summer ever. It's finally here. And because you saw in the season finale that Jaime saw snow finally,
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy how slow sometimes the first 6 seasons were, and how quickly everything is coming together in the 7th season with 6, like you said, with 6 episodes left, because you have to, they were saying winter is coming from the very beginning. That was their tagline, winter is coming. and it kind of for me it became a fucking joke because I'm like, when the fuck is Winter getting here?
Yeah.
Like it was never. It was like it's as maddening as like in the beginning when you're watching Sesame Street and nobody believed Big Bird that Snuffleupagus was alive. They're like, what the fuck? Just show up just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit sooner. You would have seen the giant woolly fucking elephant. So finally Winter's here, and again we're jumping all over the place because there's so much to talk about. But in the season finale, Cersei was like, oh shit, I can, remember when we talked a while back about when Cersei had that walk of shame, and you kind of felt bad for Cersei,
Yeah.
because you forget how much, like, when they put it, was pretty, like, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
As much bad as she's done, what they did to her was pretty as embarrassing as you could possibly get of her high standard or stature. And you kind of felt for her, but you kind of like, it's weird. They do these things where like you fucking hate her. She does the
Yes.
worst things possible, and then they put her through the ringer like that walk of shame. And you're like, oh, I kind of feel for Cersei a little bit. And you're like, wait a minute, fuck her, she's a bitch. And then in this episode, she storms off. It's like, no, fuck that. Even if I've seen that, you need to be neutral. And Jon, of course, is being the honorable man, says he already bended the knee to Daenerys, and she fucking Cersei leaves Tyrion. And then in any other season, Tyrion should have died.
Yep. They just would have killed him off.
Even if she agreed to it, like it would have been like Cersei would have agreed to doing it, but would have brought Tyrion's head to Daenerys. And would be like, okay, we'll form a truce, but here is your penance for what has been going on so far, right?
Right. And just stabs him in the head. Like you're
or
done.
just something like that's what I expect from Game of Thrones, But he fucking comes back like Steven Spielberg's writing this now, and some happy like trail where like Cersei's like, saying okay, we'll do this without any loyalties or word or whatever, and then of course you're like, oh fuck yeah, Cersei, go ahead, like okay, maybe you saw the light, and then all of a sudden she fucking turns.
She's playing the long game. She's playing the game. She mentions her father many times. Right. How he would do things, and she's just doing what he would do. Like she agreed to go ahead with this plan because she saw the dead walker. They brought the White Walker finally to her, so she sees it and believes it. But then, Jon tells his allegiance to Dany, so that pisses her off, and she walks away. And it's up to Tyrion to bring her back. So I thought for a second, like you saw the Mountain pull his sword out, and you're thinking, oh man. Maybe Tyrion is going to go, like he's done for, But she pulls back, and I think it's not a matter of, I don't think that's because it's her brother. I think that if she would have killed him and then went out there and said, okay, we'll join your thing, and they're like, well, where's Tyrion? And they find out he's dead, they wouldn't join her. They'd fucking kill her too, like right then and there.
Yeah, well, basically the two dragons on Daenerys is
Daenerys would just go Dracarys, and fire just burn them all up. So she's smart. I mean,
which, by the way, that is my new favorite word.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, I understand why she didn't kill anybody, but you could see the wheels turning in her head. She's like, no, shit, I need to let this guy go. I need to let them believe that I'm going to help them, but then at the last minute, I'm not going to do shit, and I'm going to let them fight, kill each other off, and then we'll be left standing kind of thing. And it's weird, it's interesting to see Jaime doesn't have that strategy thing. He's a warrior. He's not really not that smart, to be honest. He's just, pull a sword out and he's a good fighter. So
that changed though. That changed in what, season 3 or 4 when he was away from Cersei when they captured Jaime.
He was with Brienne of Tarth. Yeah,
right.
Like he spent time with her, and
that whole journey was like an entire fucking season.
Yeah, he softened up. He softened up.
Yeah, I think that completely changed her, because honestly, if that happened in the first season and somebody like Brienne of Tarth like grabbed Jaime like that in the first season, he would have fucking cut her head off.
Yeah.
So he's not the same person, and when he walked away from Cersei, I was like, oh fuck yes, this is so awesome. And then I looked at my watch and myself, and I'm like, oh fuck, there's only like 10 minutes left.
Yeah, like you thought he was gonna get it too. You thought
I did,
oh,
because
shit.
she actually went like the Mountain pulled the sword half the sword out, getting ready for her to say yes for Tyrion, but for Jaime, she actually gave the nod to pull the sword out.
He pulled it all the way out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, are you fucking kidding me? and then he just walked away. And like again, another he's escaped death twice. He's like fucking Glenn.
Many times, dude. Many times.
Yeah. And like the mountain's gonna fucking bulge his eyeballs out like Glenn too at some point in time, or the rumor is that Jaime is gonna kill Cersei at some point.
My feeling is this: I know the mountain's gonna be dead. I'm sure Euron Greyjoy's gonna be dead because what's his name will finally
he got
redeem
his ass
himself.
kicked. Yeah, but he got his ass kicked by that guy tonight on the beach.
Yeah, but
Which
he
the
ended up-
first time, yeah, he did end up winning, but that's because he tried to kick him in the nuts. And
that was really comical. At the first kick, I laughed, and then he did it like 2 more times, and I was like, okay, now this is just a parody. Like this is just satire. Now this is dumb.
This is like that scene in Dumb and Dumber where Jim Carrey is punching that chef's nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
And bites them.
Right. I was just like, this is really too comical. Why did they do this?
But again, at the same, again, like if he faces Euron 1-on-1, Euron would kill him easily.
Yeah, well, unless he has a sword. I mean, he was a swordsman, I thought. I mean, he can fight. But yeah, Euron. So, they have that storyline going on. This season was a big season for reunions. Like all the Stark children got reunions.
Which was great.
It was so cool to see, Bran and Arya and Sansa and Jon like all meet up. And then this was also like a season of like revenge or with payback.
The reunion
like
also happened with Tyrion and Jaime.
Yep.
And obviously Tyrion and Cersei.
Cersei for this episode.
Right. So there's a lot of that stuff going on.
It was also for all the stories to converge finally. Dany meeting Jon Snow and Jon Snow.
All the rumors that we read on the internet were true.
Yep.
Because Martin takes so goddamn long to write books, all the fans have nothing else better to do than to analyze the storylines and pick them apart. And there's no doubt that this shit is dense. It's like it.
Yeah.
But like 6 books of it.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's go over something major or weird that happened in the season finale really quickly. So we find out finally it's said it's been teased for 2 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons, I think.
Yep.
Or maybe 2 seasons that that Jon Snow is not a bastard and Jon Snow
is not a Stark.
And that Ned Stark died being the honorable man that everybody thought he was, because when he came back with Jon, everybody was completely fucking shocked that he cheated on his wife.
Right.
And that's how honorable he is. It's like freaking, what's his face? It's like Snape. Like, that's how honorable Ned Stark was, that he kept his promise to his dying sister, even though he knew full well his name would be tarnished and that the wife he's completely devoted to would think he's a cheater.
Yep.
Like, that's how awesome Ned Stark is. So anyway, again, Jon is a Targaryen.
Yes.
He is more.
He's royalty.
He's royalty, and he's first in line for the throne, not Dany. And again, spoilers: Dany and Jon do it. That's aunt and nephew. You should check out our Twitter account because there's a couple things I wrote on there. Like I was like, I put like I said like incest is disgusting and terrible. And then somebody would say to me, well, what about Jon and Daenerys? And I'd be like, oh, okay, I think I'm okay with that. Like you fucking root for it. Yeah, like you kind of root for it because like their chemistry is really good. Like I can look at Cersei and Jaime and be like, that's your fucking brother.
Yeah,
stop
it's
that.
Gross.
Stop that. Stop fucking her on your
Quit
fucking
having kids with her.
inbreds on your inbred son's casket. Stop fucking on the casket.
Yeah,
that's
that
your
was
inbred dead son. Your dead
so
inbred
bizarre,
son.
Man.
Like, stop doing that. But then when I see Jon and Daenerys together, I'm like, oh,
Keep
yeah.
doing it. I want to watch.
This is good. I'm
This
like,
is good.
and then like the season finale,
you're all
like
slow.
they're in bed, like they're completely naked. I'm like, oh, I thought what's her face had like a no nude clause in it, right? And I was like, oh, she's gonna get on
She's
top.
done it a couple of times.
And then Jon rolls over and you see his bare ass, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a fucking meme. That's going to be a meme.
So I'm probably not going to do it now because I'm just going to broadcast this. But immediately we came to my mind, nephew and aunt was Secret of My Success, like with Michael J. Fox and his aunt. I was like,
wow.
I got to find a picture of that, then a picture of them, and put it together.
I don't know who would get that. I don't know anybody that would get that other than probably
only
me.
80s kids, yeah. Only people that grew up in the 80s.
So
Michael J. Fox did it first.
yeah, but now obviously they both love each other. They're in love with each other. They don't know that they're related. That's pretty big. Like,
Yeah.
That's way worse than Luke and Leia.
Sam's going to tell them, they're going to be like, fuck!
Yeah, right outside after he walks, right when he gets out of Danny's room, Sam's like, "Hey, by the way, you're a Targaryen," and then John's like, "You could not have shown up like 30 minutes sooner."
You're all tear up that paper and throw it away.
30 minutes sooner,
I got to keep hitting that.
like 30 or 40. Like now I've tasted it.
Yeah.
Now I've tasted like the Kool-Aid. I can't stop drinking the Kool-Aid now.
Yeah. He kills Sam and throws him in the gutter.
He's like,
I
this
don't know.
conversation never happened, but Bran, all the way in Winterfell's like, "Oh fuck, John, what'd you do?
What are you gonna do? Kill me too?
We were too late, Sam. You fucking slow. The one time that you need somebody to travel really fast this season, and it's fucking slow as shit."
Sam is like the Hurley, from
Yeah.
Lost,
Right?
Game of
Like
Thrones.
if he showed up just a little bit before John left, and all this conversation happened, right? He wouldn't have fucked his aunt.
Yeah.
But he's the only person that doesn't have flu powder this season. I mean, what's his face? Gentry or whatever the fuck his name?
Gendry, he ran. He's like a
He
sprinter.
ran back to the wall. This is how. I mean, holy fuck!
John goes, "You're the fastest, go." And you see the look on his
just
face.
takes
He's
off.
like, I was like 10th in track. What are you talking about?
He's like 10th in track, but all of a sudden he's like the Flash. He makes it to the wall in like 5. He makes it faster to the wall than it does to take for all the walkers to chase them up the lake. Now think about that for a second.
Yeah.
That is what, maybe a quarter of a mile they ran up from the edge of the wall all the way
Yeah.
up until the rock, right? Think of the time frame it took for him. By the time they hit the top of the rock and they're standing there, he hits the wall. That's how fast he was fucking running. Then the Raven shows up. He actually sends the Raven,
Yeah, to Danny.
and that's how fast the Raven was. And then the dragon, of course, gets there in less than
I'm wondering
less than
because
a minute.
so I don't know if the listeners are confused right now, but there's a part in it where they're all in the middle of this lake and they're just sitting there and they need help and they made Gendry run
Well,
ahead.
why are they listening to this if they haven't seen
Yeah,
it?
I know, but
It says season 7
7
review.
But they're sitting in the middle of the lake and we don't know exactly how much time went by. I mean, according to the show, it looked like it was they just were there overnight.
It
You
took
know.
the amount of time. Yeah, exactly.
But it takes more than one night for that water to because all the zombies fall into the water and so they stop. They don't move and they're basically just
Yeah.
waiting it out. And then Stupid the Hound throws a rock and it hits the thing and it's all solid. And
the hound is the chick from fucking Jurassic Park
with the light.
with the light on the T-Rex. Like they're all safe there. They're fucking, they're White Walkers. They're all fucking stupid, brain dead or whatever. They have no conception of hey, it's really cold out. Let's check this water to see if it's frozen, right?
Nope.
And then so instead of just sitting there and waiting for help, the hound fucking throws a rock and shows every single White Walker that,
It's solid.
hey, this shit's frozen again, right? It's just like that chick is like, oh, the T-Rex is going away from the car. Let me turn on this flashlight and shine it in his fucking eye.
Let's see if that'll agitate it.
Yeah, let's see if we'll still get away.
Yeah, that part was because he just goes fuck because they all just start
Because he
bomb
knows.
rushing. Oh
Yeah.
my god! I was like, dude, why?
What I thought they were gonna do was take that giant hammer that he had and start as soon as they started
Hacking
knowing
the
that,
ground?
yeah, around the rock.
Yeah, that would have been too smart though. It was too late. I mean, there wasn't anything that they could do. But they lose some of their people. It reminds me of Star Trek. If you look at Star Trek and you have
The red shirts.
yeah, you got Shatner and Nimoy and all those people, but you look at some of the other ones like Yeoman, Yeoman Smith. You're like, oh, that guy's gonna die.
You just have to
So,
look at the outfit. If it looks like it's off the rack from IKEA, then they're gonna die. So what the reason why I was bringing up the whole John and Daenerys thing is because there's this weird part in that whole scene at the very end
mhm,
where Tyrion, or I'm sorry, the very beginning, Tyrion is watching John go into the room, but he stands there and he has this like pissed off look on his face,
yeah.
and I'm like, wait a minute, were you in love with her the whole fucking time?
Oh, dude, everybody's in love with Danny. I mean, Joran is just like, I
That
hate
guy,
you, John.
that
What a-
guy, his friend zone is the size of like Jupiter. Like no matter where he looks, the entire planet. If you put him on Jupiter, the friend zone is the entire planet. He's never
yeah.
getting off of Jupiter.
Yeah,
He's like Matt Damon on like what's it when he escapes? What's that movie? Escape from Mars, whatever the fuck the movie's called.
I don't. Oh, Mission. No,
Not Mission to Mars.
no, it wasn't that.
You know what I'm talking
The
about,
Martian.
right?
The Martian.
Oh, he's called the Martian, right? Except Jordan's never getting off Mars. Like he's just stuck there.
Dude,
He's the friend zone.
when I look at the characters that are left right now, I could tell you, I'm like, I know who's going to die and how they're kind of going to die. You know what I mean? Jordan is going to die defending her to the end. You know,
Well,
he's
that whole Tyrion thing. Here's the thing. I keep forgetting my spot because I keep saying other shit. The whole Tyrion thing, that was teased years ago when Martin wrote a letter to a publisher and outlined the entire thing.
wow.
And yeah, basically what had happened was Tyrion is actually supposed to be jealous and in love with Daenerys.
Okay.
So that look kind of came out of nowhere because it never seemed like he was like in love with her. He was just a loyal servant to her.
Yeah.
And apparently this whole time, he's been in love with her. And if you think about it, think about everybody who that she's been with since Tyrion's been around. He has sent them all away.
Yep.
Every single one of them. And you're like, well, you never really thought about it. None of that you never thought about because everything he was saying always made sense. Like
He was playing the game of Bones. He's like, I'm gonna be the one at the very end that gets the boner, but John
Nope.
John just slips right in there.
Yeah, you lost to a dead guy.
And then Tyrion wasn't looking. He's like, no, damn it.
When you're off talking to your bitch ass sister,
Yep.
John slid right in.
Yeah. He saw a squirrel. Look at over there.
And now he's like, I don't care that she's my aunt.
Yep.
At least that's what I'm thinking anyway.
Yeah.
But I think Danny's gonna be more pissed off than John is, obviously.
Well, I mean, this could be. Danny could essentially die. You know.
Well, Danny could go after John now at some point in time because all she cared, like they made it a point this year where she is getting impatient about not being on the throne.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the things that their first conversations together when John goes to meet her is about the throne and bending the knee and things like that. And now all of a sudden this revelation that we knew about John not being a bastard and not a Stark, that he's actually the rightful heir to the throne, that changes everything in their relationship. Like they're sitting there making love, and Danny has no idea that he's like, she in the back of her mind's like, oh, you're having sex with the queen.
Right.
When in reality she is having sex with the king.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be really interesting. And again, like you said, there's only 6 episodes in Jesus, I don't even know how long they're going to take. Maybe a year and a half to get this done.
Yeah. But
so
Sam's gonna like burst through the door while they're.
Hey, John, I got some great news. You are not a bat. Oh shit!
He's like Maury Povich. You are not the father. He's just like, you are not the bastard.
I
You're the
hope
king."
John and Bran don't do what the butler did in Spider-Man and just kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, I don't. No,
Like
this
when
is gonna come out, dude.
when Daenerys has like a baby and it's got like fucking 4 legs and like 2 fingers. Like
Ends up
what
like
the
another
fuck?
Joffrey.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait a minute, we're related. Why the fuck didn't you tell us that? Look at our fucking child.
Couldn't she
It's all
figure it
fucked
out?
up.
I mean, he was like rubbing on her dragon, and she couldn't figure out that he's like a Targaryen. I don't know.
I
Like,
don't
I don't
know.
think anybody could just rub the dragon's head.
Because
That
Tyrion
sounds
did
so
the same
bad.
thing at one point.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, is his mom the same as Cersei and Jaime's mom? I mean, their
Yes.
dad's the same.
I think so.
Okay, well then he's not a Targaryen then.
Yeah, I don't know how he was able to touch the dragon either.
I don't know. This just sounds dirty. It's like come touch the dragon.
Well, we all know John touched the dragon tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. He's like, let me touch it here, let me touch it there.
Yeah, so like, also when he was brought back to life, he was like kind of pale and blue.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then like when he turned over tonight and he flashed his ass to the camera, it wasn't pale and blue. It was like normal skin tone.
What the fuck?
I noticed things like this. I'm like, he turned over and was like, okay, yeah, I guess he's got a nice ass. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, it's not blue.
It's not blue. Hey, isn't he cold?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't he supposed to be cold to the touch?
He's got
Apparently
like
Danny didn't care.
he's just got like a warm condom on or something, Like a
I don't know,
fur
but
coat.
like that's a fire and ice. That guy's dead.
Yep. Oh, speaking of fire and ice, the dragon. I didn't expect.
Oh, yeah.
So the dragon was turned in last episode, and now the dude is just. I knew that was coming too. I knew
Yeah.
as soon as the White Walkers hit the wall, I was like, "Where's the dragon? Where's the dragon?"
Yeah, exactly.
And it just comes out of nowhere, screeching, and it starts shooting like a blue. Was it a blue flame? It wasn't ice.
Yeah. No, it was
It's like
it was like blue fire.
Yeah.
Actually, technically, blue fire is hotter than normal
Yes,
orange
and
or red
it
fire.
destroyed the entire wall. I mean, I gasped. I was like, "What?" Like, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him to just like tear the whole wall down.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either, and it's interesting because obviously Daenerys has the big dragon.
Yeah,
She has the biggest dragon, but I don't know. This is going to be really cool.
I
The
don't
next
think-
season's going to have a lot of fighting.
yeah. I don't think the dragons are gonna live. I don't think. I mean, Jorun's gonna die. I'm sure Jaime's probably gonna die killing Cersei because she's like the Mad King, and
Right.
I don't know. There's a few characters where I'm like, I think these people are going to die. The Mountain's going to die, obviously. So the Hound,
the Hound.
the Hound might die. Yeah. So
Yeah, speaking of deaths, Littlefinger.
oh, that was fucking sweet. I knew it too. I knew it. I called it like a week ago. I was like, although what I said was, I think Sansa doesn't know what's going on and Arya's pulling all the strings, but they put on a show and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, what I didn't pick up on was the game that Arya and Sansa were playing.
Yeah.
And everything that Arya said to Sansa wasn't true. And Sansa obviously knew that. Because remember, Arya said to her, like, one of the things that stuck out that definitely weren't true was that, you stood there calmly while father, was beheaded.
Yeah.
When Arya knew full well that Sansa was there screaming at the top of her lungs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I didn't even pick up on that part. I just watched the scene as like, oh, Arya is just fucking with Littlefinger, like just to out himself.
Yep.
So I was like, I was thinking the whole time, like, there's no way Littlefinger is going to get the best of Arya, this version of Arya.
But they
not season
sure,
2.
but sure, they certainly pushed it hardcore where you were like for a split second going like, oh my God, they're going to like kill off Arya or they're going to hurt her, beat her up or
Oh, you
take
mean
her
when
away.
they
Because
showed
she's
her
just
up in
like,
the
how do you answer to these, treason and this and that? And she's just like, get on with it. And she says, then she says, how do you plead or whatever? And then she looks over at Littlefinger and looks at him and says, well, and
I was like, it's over. It's
I was like,
over.
yes. I was just like, fuck yes.
The only thing I was disappointed in was that the dagger that she eventually cut his throat with, I thought that Arya was going to give him a fighting chance and like give him the dagger, and Arya would fucking like
Dispatch
duel him, but just like fuck with him. You know what I mean? Like just mess with him really bad because, toe to toe, 1-on-1. There's probably not a lot of people that can fight Arya 1-on-1.
No, well,
Oh, I just had an idea. I just had a thought. So
right.
what if like, cause like, okay,
It's too
so
late.
Brianna Tarth almost killed the Hound, or should have killed the Hound, right? Because you thought he was left for dead. So the Hound is probably not going to be a match for the Mountain, right? So what if Arya comes to the Hound's aid and kills the Mountain? How sick would that be?
That would be pretty
The
sick.
littlest person, right?
Arya
Everybody's
right now
afraid of them.
Arya's like the Legolas of Game of Thrones right now. She's just fucking badass. Just
If she like slides down the back of a dragon, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
oh my god, yeah.
While firing arrows, that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, that scene was just amazing. And then right after that, she's just like, I never wanted to be you. I mean, like you're the lady of the house. Like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm the executioner. I'm your basically like you telling me I'll fuck him up. Like
Yeah, basically she's like Snake Eyes or something.
Yeah, totally. I mean, god damn, she's so badass. Also, the other thing that I really liked about this season is that they got characters together that have never been together, and they're having these like crazy, awesome, funny like dialogue toward each other. Like the red bearded guy and the Hound like are talking, and the Hound's just always like, "Fuck off," or whatever.
Yeah. Or he said like they start talking about a woman that he's in love with, and he's like, "Are you talking about Brianna Tarth?" He's like, "The woman would like rip your arms off and like pull your heart through your chest." And the red dude looks back at him and is like, "So you do know her?"
So you don't. Yeah. That's so awesome.
And then I thought of My Blue Heaven when in this last episode where one of the guards asked the Hound like, "Hey, what's in the box?" And he replies, "Fuck off."
Fuck off.
Because in My Blue Heaven there's a scene. If you haven't seen My Blue Heaven, you got to go watch it. There's
Steve Martin and Rick Moranis.
Yeah, great combo. There's a scene where he's like a gangster and he's walking through like this really friendly Midwestern town, and everybody keeps telling him in the grocery store, "Have a nice day," and finally somebody says, "Have a nice day" to him, and he turns around and goes, "Fuck you." It's one of the greatest lines.
That's so cool. Yeah, the Hound is that guy. I mean, he's just like, leave me the fuck alone. I can't wait till he meets up with Arya because he hasn't. Met
Well,
up with
he
her
asked
yet.
about her. I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah,
Or not asked about her, but when Brianna told
said
him
she's alive.
Yeah, he kind of perked up a little bit, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
Just the little things like that, really, those little things for the 6 seasons used to only get you through like 4 episodes. Now those like happen like every 5 or 10 minutes.
I love the first like 20 minutes of this episode is just everybody converging into one place after all these years and seasons, and they finally converge in one place to like negotiate. And they're slinging insults at each other. They're posturing and shit. It was awesome. I was just like, oh man, this is what we've been waiting for right here. The season finale, above all the other episodes this season, was more talky, more dialogue, more story driven, and I didn't mind that at all. I mean, I didn't. There's tons of action in the other episodes, but this was a really good, like, pretty good finale. I mean, even the way it ends there was some action, and you're like, holy shit, when it ends. So I think all in all, I think this season 7 was. Even though there's a lot of nitpicking, a lot of, just unbelievable, ridiculous shit happening, it was pretty entertaining.
I think what it has to do with, I think the reason why me and you can overlook the clear time issues with this season, I think the reason why we can overlook it is because we put up with 6 seasons that have been fall, and not winter. There's been times where. I think it was season 5 where like nothing happened.
Yeah, season 2 was that way too. You're like, just God, like they laid so much foundation, and you're just like, God, like, come on with the order.
Just do something. Just fucking do something.
Yeah.
But then the red wedding hits. You're like, stop doing things. Go back to just not doing anything.
Yeah, that was fucked up. Please don't do that.
Don't ever do that again. Just go back to not doing anything.
Yeah, back to the Littlefinger. You just reminded me of something. But back to the Littlefinger thing. Like Sansa just starts nailing him with all this shit.
Oh yeah, that he did everything.
Yeah, every single thing that he did, and you're looking back like you're watching it, going like, "Oh yeah, you did that. Yep, you did do that. You did do that."
Yeah, because it takes forever for them to fucking do anything.
Yeah.
So it takes a while for you to remember, like, oh wait, who the fuck are you again? Like, what's your purpose in the show? And when she starts yeah, you're right. When she starts saying all that stuff, I'm like, oh right, you motherfucker, you did do that.
Yeah, you need to fucking die right now.
Because there's a point in time where I was like, why does everybody hate Littlefinger? Because I forgot all the shit he did in season 1.
Yeah, he
I
did tons of
forgot.
stuff,
I
did
fucking
tons of stuff.
forgot. I forgot that he betrayed Ned. Like that's how long it feels like.
Yeah,
That I've seen.
he wanted. I mean, yes, he did want, the mother. He did want Ned's wife, but only because, not just because he was in love with her, but because he wanted to have that power. Like everything he did was to serve himself. And
Right.
so Sansa in the end was like, well, in my own way, I kind of think that he did love me, but he was still a motherfucker. So good riddance. That was, I mean, it was shocking, but it was like really cool. I jumped up. I was like, yes.
Well, yeah,
Like,
when Sansa turned her head, I was like, "You're dead. You're so fucking dead.
yeah, yeah.
You're so dead."
Oh God. And he went good too. He went Red Wedding style too. It was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh, that is great. That it was very symbolic that he went the same way that their mother did.
Yes. Yeah. And Rob, and yeah, it was awesome. That was way cool. But
Now I'm just waiting for when Cersei gets it.
yeah, I hope I mean, it's got to be something pretty sweet. I mean,
It's got to be Jamie. I'm my bet's on Jamie. I'm calling
Yeah.
it right now. I think it's Jamie.
I'm thinking so too. I think he can. It's happened all season. He sees her becoming like the Mad King, who he did
Right,
kill
and-
like many years
right,
before.
exactly. Where he was like,
So,
"Fuck it, I can't do it anymore."
all the way, even to the very end of this episode, when she was just like, "Yeah, we're not going to go fight." He's like, "Fuck you! I'm going. I promise them." Like
There's
Lannisters-
a little, yeah. There's
Lannisters
a
always
little
promise.
bit,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a little bit of Stark inside Jamie in the sense that like he wanted to keep
He's
his word,
honorable.
which
Yeah.
well, you never thought that until he got captured. Even then, even when he was captured, it wasn't until him and Brianna were on that like road trip together
Yeah.
that he started to change a little bit. Because even then, before that, he was a bastard. I mean, don't forget he's the reason why Bran's fucking crippled.
Yep.
You know, so it's his story arc has been really interesting throughout the entire show. He's so not the same person he was from season 1.
Yeah, I think
Um,
he's finally going to break loyalty from his sister. I mean,
Well, he just did. He just
you've
did.
seen him struggle. You've seen him struggle with it, and I think now he made the decision. He's like,
Well, now he's gonna go. He's gonna go ride north and warn John and the Daenerys.
yeah, yeah,
So that's gonna be interesting when Jamie and Tyrion are on the other side of the battlefield against Cersei.
yeah. That's going to be interesting. She's got
Well, actually,
up her sleeve, man.
we don't know what Tyrion's going to do now. If what Martin sent to the publisher like before Game of Thrones got put out in book, if it stays true, Tyrion is going to do something with John, or
you
try
mean-
and do something with
You
John.
mean try and kill him
Something,
because
something's
he wants to be with what's her name?
Tyrion might go back to Cersei because of what John did.
Just by slipping her to the dragon. That
Yeah.
upset him, huh?
Basically,
Well, he hasn't. That little dude hasn't. The first few seasons he was getting it left and right, and it seems like
Yeah.
the last couple seasons is like nothing, no women at all.
yeah. I can't remember the last time he actually sucked with a woman in the show. It's been like three or four seasons.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a while. But,
But
oh,
yeah,
man.
it that all the like I can see Tyrion changing sides because of John and Daenerys getting together, and then I don't know how they're going to play out the fact that John is no longer a Stark. He's a Targaryen, and he just slept with his aunt.
Yeah,
So that is going to play somewhere. There's a lot of stuff that has not been answered. That's got to be answered. That's going on, and like they have to do this all in 6 seasons. Like they did. What this episode was 60 or 80 minutes long.
was it an
79 minutes.
hour and 20 something? Yeah, something like that. It was like 80 minutes long.
So I'm wondering if like the final season, the 8th season, the 6-episode 8th season are going to be like an hour and a half each.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
Which honestly, like you can get it a lot done in 8 episodes. Look at all like the British shows; they get shit done. I just finished the series finale of Broadchurch, and that show only had 8 episodes a season.
oh wow, I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's only 3 seasons. The first 2 seasons are on Netflix right now. It's really good. It's got David Tennant in it, so what's not to love?
Yeah, love Tennant. Wish Tennant was in Game of Thrones. God damn it. They got enough people in there. I hope they don't introduce like more characters next season. They just keep
Fuck, I hope
everything the
not.
way they have it. I don't know, man. How are they going to defeat those White Walkers with that dragon running around? I'm just. And then if they do, and when and if they do defeat them, they have to turn around and fight Cersei's army. You know.
Well, basically, what's happening right now is that they think they have Cersei's army. And Jamie's about to tell them, "You don't have shit."
Yeah.
Right? So they're gonna send their forces north to stop the White Walkers. Meanwhile, Cersei's forces are heading north, but not to fight the White Walkers.
Right. To
So
just wait whoever comes back.
all those armies are that faction between Snow and Daenerys. Those armies are going to be getting it from the north and the south. They're going to they're going to be completely surrounded. So that would be an interesting battle too, where they're completely surrounded.
Yeah. Oh man,
know.
we gotta
Good
wait.
stuff.
We gotta wait. We gotta wait a year.
Probably, I don't think it's going to be more than a year, dude. This season took what, a year and a half?
Yeah, I was like, they usually like every season started in April except for this year. Well, maybe last year it started in June. I can't remember. Every year was like April, so they keep getting spread out more and more. So I wouldn't be surprised if next summer, they bring it back. But whatever, it's going to be a long time. But luckily there's a lot of good shit in between. So I mean, this season came pretty quickly, and it's already over. So.
Yeah, because I feel like the show the season just started because
It
that
feels that
so
way.
much. Yeah, because so much happened finally. Like I said, fall took fucking 6 seasons. It took 6 seasons for these guys to travel all the way back to Winterfell. Where in this season 7, they've traveled to and fro Winterfell like 7 times already.
Yeah, Dragonstone, past the wall. I mean, they've gone
On
everywhere.
the water.
On the water. Yeah, which should take forever to get places. Versus Danny just flying, in the sky.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be very really interesting to find out what happens. I mean, a lot of predictions and whatnot. But we're in territory. I mean, we've been in territory where not even the people that read the books, like, they have no idea what's going to happen. So
Right.
I kind of like that leveled ground now. But anyway, but yeah, it should be cool. But season 7, like I said, entertaining. There's some crazy shit that goes on, but it was entertaining, and a lot of stuff happens. So next year, I mean, the shit is going to hit the fan over and over and over again. So
Right.
a lot of revelations are going to come to light, and I'm looking forward to that. Anything else you want to add?
Just come see us this Saturday.
Yeah, come see us this Saturday, guys. It's going to be a great time. We got some really cool stuff planned, and we have some giveaways and like a trivia game at the end of our podcast, and it is live from 10 to 11 at the Moscone Center, room 2011, I think. 2011, Moscone Center. If you guys download the San Francisco Comic-Con app, we're on Saturday. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom. We're at the bottom from 10 to 11 p.m. All the, drunk and weeded out people are going to be there. Or I don't know, maybe people will be falling asleep in the theater. I have no idea. But this is the first time I've ever been, at a con that late. Usually I'm out of there by like 5 o'clock. So it's going to be interesting to see that crowd. Hopefully it'll be a fun crowd. So come on out, come see us, San Francisco Comic-Con, 10 to 11, September 2nd, which is a Saturday at Moscone Center. It's going to be a good time. But that was Game of Thrones. That was episode 96 of Chew on This, a Nerds United podcast. I'm BJ.
Look,
Until next time, folks, chew on that.
later.